guys, welcome back to Voice of Aisha. I hope you had a wonderful week. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what it means to be an African girl and just some of the pressures that we face as African girls, It's going to be a little bit of a chilled, topic, nothing so intense. But before I get into that, I want to give you guys what my quote is today. Be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. This quote, like always, I always find quotes that resonate with me and resonate with the topic that I'm about to talk about. So I don't know how much you guys know about me, but I'm from Ghana. West Africa to be exact, and growing up in Ghana, and then I came to Canada when I was 14, and I remember coming to Canada and thinking, oh my god, this place is gonna be awesome, it's gonna be amazing and all of that stuff, and it really wasn't. But I think, I always say to myself and to anyone that asks me that Canada is like my transition place. It's a place where I'm supposed to learn and to grow as a young girl and just to take the things that I've learned back to my people. But there's been ups and downs and highs and lows of being in Canada, and every time I go to Ghana, I'm able to really connect back to them. I feel more at home when I'm in Ghana. But feeling at home doesn't mean that it doesn't come with some pressures, or I like to say, just certain things that girls are expected to do. But it's just some of the things that I find that I face as an African girl. So the very first thing is, so when I went back home to Ghana, some of the things that I think my mom always expected me to do was to cook and to clean. Don't get me wrong, I know how to do all of that stuff, but I felt like, I'm back home, I'm on vacation, and I don't have to do Mom, I just want to chill, I miss your home cooking, so why don't you just cook for me, and all that stuff. But the conversation always ended up with, you're a girl, and you're gonna get married someday, and you would have to feed your husband and your kids and all that stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I just want you to make me food because I really miss your home cooked meal. But that's just the first thing. That's the first thing that came to mind. And then the other expectation is also the whole marriage thing. And I feel like as you get older, the pressures of getting married and having a boyfriend is high up, it's right here. Always you're not getting any younger. You have to, when I was your age, by the time I was 25, I already had you. I'm just like, well, the boys are not coming. What do you want me to do? Chase them? But it's so funny. And then there's also, so that's the number one thing I find, that as you get older, the expectations are you're expected to have a boyfriend, or you're expected to be seeing someone, to be courting someone. I remember on my many trips to Ghana, my aunties, some of them would just pull me aside and be like, so are you seeing anyone? And I'm like, no. Well, have you been pushing the boys away? And I'm like, no. Well, when they come, and then they legit start giving you tips, they start giving you tips on how to keep a boyfriend, or tips on how to communicate with the boys. I wouldn't say boys, men essentially, and then they start telling you the kind of prayers that you should start praying, and I'm just like, can't a girl just live? But it's just an African thing, maybe this goes on in other parts of the world, but I'm able to speak on my experience as an African girl. And then not only that, this is not a pressure from just your parents. This is a pressure from your pastor. Your pastor will legit ask you, so Aisha, who are you seeing now? And it was like, I really don't want to have this conversation with you. Well, you're not getting any younger, you have to, when the guys come, don't push them away. And then on top of that, the other, this is not, so now it's not just your parents, it's not just your siblings, it's not just your pastor. Then now African guys start asking you this question: so who are you seeing? So when are you getting married? You know, you're not getting any younger. And I'm like, the amount of times in a year that African girls hear you're not getting any younger, trust me, that is a lot of times. You're not getting any younger, you know. So when are you trying to settle down? So I'm like, how come you're not asking the guys these questions? So to a little bit of segue into that, then the next question is, you know, you're not getting, the whole premise of you're not getting any younger is because you're not getting any younger. And what they're trying to say is that you're not getting any younger over here, in a sense you have to hurry up and start popping out some babies, you know. So the pressures of being an African girl, there's a lot of them, but I find that one of the things that we're saying to our little girls, and like one of the things that we're saying to our younger generation, is that you should not strive to be anything else, you know. Just, you know, your entire existence should be for you to get married and to have kids. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to get married and have kids in the future for sure, but then I feel like it shouldn't be because I am getting younger, I'm getting older, or it shouldn't be because, you know, my biological clock is ticking. It should be because I've met someone that shares in my dreams and my aspirations, and someone that I can spend the rest of my life with, knowing that they support me in that sense. And not just that, you know, it's like I'm supporting them as much as they're supporting me, and we're together, like we're connected in that sense, you know. And it's not just because, hey, you know, I'm getting older, you're getting older, let's get married. What do you think? Oh my god, you know, no. It shouldn't be like that at all. And I find that, like, especially for Africans, or like even in the African culture, marriage is really important, and like, you know, marriage is a big thing. But then marriage for younger girls is even bigger thing, because I found out that, like, you know, especially even in Ghana, child marriage is like high up here, and it shouldn't be like that, and it shouldn't, that shouldn't even be a conversation that we're having, because not only are we pressuring, or like, you know, putting so much pressure on the older generations to get married, now we're legit just giving away our little girls and saying, hey, this is all that you're good for. Like, that's the message that we're sending to them, is that as a young girl, or like as a girl, the only thing that you're good for is to get married and to have kids. And women are more than that. God created us for a higher purpose than that, you know. So yes, I do want to get married someday. Yes, I do want to have kids someday, but then I want to do it on my own terms. I want to do it when I'm ready. I want to do it when, you know, I know that I've given so much of myself, or like I've contributed to the welfare of society, and that way I know that I'm bringing my kids into a world that is, if not safe, it's a bit safer than the way I found it, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to do this video. It's like a funny clip. I don't know if it's a funny clip, but I wanted to do this video just for my aunties and uncles and mothers and daughters, and even my girls out there who are constantly asking me the question, you know, you're not getting any younger, you know, when are you getting married? Wait, stop asking me that question, because all that you're doing is making me feel like I haven't accomplished anything, which in a sense I have accomplished quite a lot, if I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't know where that came from. Yeah, but you know, I really wanted to do this because I found that it's an issue. It really is an issue. It's becoming an issue, you know. I will get married, Mom. I will get married, Dad. I will get married, guys. But I will get married when I'm well and ready, and when the right person comes along. So until then, thank you guys so very much for tuning in to Voice of Aisha. Tell me, what are some of the pressures that you feel as an African girl, if you are African, and if you're not African, what are some of the pressures in your culture? You know, what are some of the things that is prevalent to only girls? I don't know if prevalent is even a word. Or tell me the pressures that are associated with being a girl, specifically in your culture, or in your, you know, wherever it is that you're at. Be sure to own your voice, make sure you're heard. You know, I love you. Love yourself. Stay true to yourself. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and to share this video, and just spread the word, you know what I mean? But thank you guys so very much for tuning in. God bless, love you, and